Welcome to Board Game Empire. We're going to be doing an overview and review of Ra by 25th Century Games. So this is the newer version. This game originally came out in 1999, but this is a more updated version that's played the same way but has nicer components. So in Ra, you're trying to gain the most points by collecting epic tiles, and there's various ways that you can score on those tiles. Each player is going to be pulling from the bag the epic tiles and placing them here. There'll be Ra tokens that come out that force you to do an auction. It doesn't force you to bid if it's invoked that way, but however, it does invoke an auction, so players have the opportunity to bet on whatever tiles are out there with their sun discs. So each player will start with 2 of the 5-point tokens, and the number on their sun disk are depicted on their board. 2-player boards, there's a number on the bottom, which is the number you put for 2 players, and the number on the top is for a 3-player game. So they have various player boards for 4 and 5 players as well. So whoever has the highest sun disk on their board gets to go first and pulls the first epic tile, places it here, and you just keep going back and forth until either someone wants to invoke Ra for their turn, or until a Ra token comes out or epic tile comes out. Then that creates an auction. It also requires you to move the sunboat when Ra comes out 1 spot. It starts out whichever player count you're at. We're at 2 players. Each time a Ra tile comes out, you're going to be moving this. If everyone passes, it doesn't matter. It still moves up. You discard the Ra tile, and the other tiles will stay on the board. So you just keep going. It's 3 rounds, or 3, what would you call that? Full phases. And you just keep moving it. Each time a Ra token comes out, when it gets to the end, there's no auction that takes place. You just flip this over. It's the next epic. And then you just start it over at the next, and then you just keep going. You will score at the end of each epic all the tiles on the right, and all of these will be going to the discard pile. The tiles on the left are either just for in-game, or they are scored each epic, but they stay. So these you will be accumulating. These you will be discarding at the end of each of the epic round. So you have your monument tiles. These are the purple ones. These are the ones you're trying to either get sets that are the same or all different ones, and you score both ways on. You can score both ways on each tile. You have the Pharaoh tiles. I think that's what those are called. Yes. This one is this one's basically whoever has the most gets 5 points. Whoever has the least gets 2. If there's a tie, it's 0. That you lose 0 points. These are your Nile tiles. The only way you get points on these is if you have a flood tile, 1 or more flood tiles over here. So these are worth nothing unless you have at least 1 flood tile. These are your God tiles. They're worth 2 points each, but they could also be used to spend to grab any epic tile at any time, and you can do as many as you want. Since I have 3, I could buy 3 tiles at one time. If there's one you really want and you don't want a chance getting it in a auction. You have your gold tiles. Those are worth 3 points each. Those are very rare. I only saw them come out very few times.
Yeah, very few times.
Then you have your civilization tiles. These are you're trying to get. If you have 0 of them, you're going to lose 5 points. That's the worst way to lose points, but it does happen a lot. It's not easy to get the tiles that you want with these auctions. If you have 3, as long as you have one tile of those, you're not going to lose any points. But you don't gain any points unless you have 3 different ones. They have to be different. They have little pictures right here. So you have to have 3 with different pictures on those flags. And if you have 4 different ones, you get 10 points. 5 different ones, you get 15 points. So the more you have that are different, the better. And then, of course, the flood tiles are worth 1 point each, and they multiply your Nile tiles. In an auction, if someone says, I invoke Ra, basically the player to their left gets to bid first. It goes around the table, and then they bid last. You're limited to your sun tile. It's your sun disc. So the most I can bid is 9. The least I can bid is 2. The game always starts with a 1 here. So say I bid 2. Anthony invoked Ra. I bid 2. He has to bid more than 2 to beat me. So he might bid his 3. My 2 goes back. His 3 goes up here. And he takes that 1 and puts it face down. And the significance of that is next epic, he'll have a 1 instead of a 3. So it's kind of a disadvantage, but if it's worth it, I mean, he may have gotten some great tiles there. So you're going to always be exchanging your sun disc for whatever's here and placing it face down. The round ends either when everyone has bid all their sun discs, there's no more that can be bid, or when this has reached the end. Ours always ended with him reaching the end there. Then you start over, you turn over your sun disc for the next round, you remove all of these, and it's going to start fresh, and you score, obviously, on the right side of your board, and these 2. Then you start over a new epic, you keep doing that for 3 complete times, and then at the end of the game, you're going to score your monuments and score all these, and the one with the most points wins. So what do you think of this game?
I really like the new upgrade components that they pretty much did through the Kickstarter, and we didn't get the deluxe, but this is plenty.
It feels like a deluxe.
Yeah, it does. It's really nice. I also like this one.
The Ra.
Yeah, it's huge. But great components, illustrations, cool. I like the Egyptian type illustrations and everything. So very, I really enjoy the components. So the mechanics, I really like the mechanics. Very simple, but yet strategic enough. There is some luck base if you are pulling from a bag, and then but you pretty much bid whenever you want. So it has pretty much the strategy is dependent on you. So there is luck, but it's very little because you're the one who bids for what you want. So really cool mechanics. This is probably one of my favorite bidding games that we've played. So replayability, high replayability, because it literally takes like 5-7 minutes to set up or less.
Less.
Yeah. And then it's just every game is different and so much fun. So really like the replayability. Overall total, I'm giving this like a 9.5, probably like 9.5, because I could just see myself or us playing it over and over and over and over. It's an extremely quick game, very easy to remember, and has a lot of strategy. Highly recommend.
Yeah, so the setup consists of this. Putting this board out, putting the sun boat on the correct players, putting the 1 in the middle, putting the corresponding sun disc on here, and giving each player 5 points. And then you're ready to go. And making sure all the tiles are in the bag.
Yeah. But we separated these.
Yeah,
it took a while.
You can or you don't have to. We did separate them, but that might take a few more minutes if you want to separate your points. But first game, we just had them all in a pile. So depends on how anal you are on things like that. We're kind of anal on our stuff, so we always separate everything and take the time to do that. But this is a fun game. We played it with both a 3-player and 2-player game. I will say, I think I like the 3-player better because in a 2-player game, Anthony kind of took the lead and it was hard to catch up. Whereas in a 3-player game, it's hard for one person to do that because the auctions are, it's a very strategic in the way that you use your sun disc to bid. Like, you don't want to go too fast because, or too soon when there's just a few tiles, because a lot of times there'll be quite a few tiles out there, and that's how he was able to get so many. And it's another kind of a push your luck game, because when you get near the end here, you think you're golden because you're the only one with the sun disc left, but you're not, because if Ra comes out and it's right here, which is what happened to me every time.
Twice.
I was like, oh, cool. I can get as many tiles as I want because he can't bid. Well, of course, Raw came out. I think there was 2 tiles, so I had to get those 2 measly tiles. But if luck had been in my favor, they'd keep coming out and out and out, and then I would have been able, when Raw came out, or actually I would have needed to invoke Raw before that happened, because if Raw comes out, there is no auction when it gets here. That was the problem. There was no auction. So I was pushing my luck, and I was going to invoke Raw very soon, but he pulled a Raw token out. So it was, I didn't have luck on my side this last game we played. But in a 3-player game, to me, it feels like it's...
more balanced?
Yeah, even though it is fun with a 2-player game, but it is easier for one player to kind of run away with the game if they have more luck on their side, because there is quite a bit of luck, but there is strategy as well.
I wouldn't say luck.
Because he won, it's all strategy.
Yeah.
There is luck in this game.
Very minute. Man.
Okay, whatever. So he wins 1 game out of 10, and all of a sudden he's just the strategy lord.
Really? I went a lot more than that.
That's so funny. I love cracking myself up. But this is a great game. If you like simple games, and it's simple but fun. It's not simple and boring. It's simple and fun. Like, we really enjoyed it, and I really do like the wooden components that they have. They're really nice. They're really nice. I guess that's painted, it looks like. Mm-hmm. It feels like a deluxe version to me. I guess the deluxe version, maybe all this is wood.
Yeah, all of this wood.
But yeah, even the standard retail version is great. So I would highly suggest checking out this game. It's a great filler game. It only took us, maybe 20, 25 minutes to play.
Yeah.
And so it's quick to learn. I think the video was by the developer, right? It was a very quick video.
I think
so quick to learn. You don't even really need to read the book. You can just watch the video and you're up and playing in just a few minutes. So great game. I would give this a 9. Definitely, we will be playing this again. Quentin really liked this game a lot as well. What did he give it? A 9.7?
Yeah,
what he said? He said 9.7. So great classic game that came out like 23 years ago or 24.
And sadly, it's actually better than, I would say, 90% of the games we probably played.
Yeah, it's a great game. So I'm glad they brought it back and improved on the components and just but kept the classic game mechanic of the game. We kept the mechanics of the game and just kind of improved the components. Obviously, there was a big demand for them to do that.
Yeah.
So hopefully this helped you to decide whether this is a game you'd like to check out. We will put the link in the description if you want to check it out. Please give this video a like. Feel free to leave a comment. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for being a loyal fan. If not, we hope you'll subscribe to our channel. Thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you next time.